Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming this morning. My name is Kevin Lee. I am the Public Affairs Officer for the City of Long Beach. Today, we are here for quite an inspiring story between a Long Beach police lieutenant, Jim Foster, and an individual named Tiffany Hall. The two of them had interactions many years ago that were not necessarily the greatest of times, but as time has gone by, their situation has evolved, and they're going to have a reunion here today. That story will play out through a number of speakers. First, we'll have up Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia, followed by Deputy Chief Richard Conant, then Innovation Team Director Tracy Kalanga, and then followed by Lieutenant Jim Foster. And then at that time, we'll have Tiffany Hall come out. She'll join us. They'll have a moment right here, so that'll be good for all of you to capture. After they have their moment and exchange some words, we'll have Tiffany speak. And then after Tiffany speaks, we'll have an opportunity up here for Q&A at the lectern. And then after that, you can also have an opportunity for some one-on-ones with the lieutenant and Tiffany. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome up to the stage Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia.
Well, good morning, everyone. And it's obviously great to be here for what was really an inspiring story about not just someone that we care about deeply in our department, which you're going to meet in a little bit, but really about the human interactions that happen every single day between our Long Beach police officers, the folks that work at the city, and the people that we try to serve every day. It's very common for us to be here and talk about the latest statistic or talk about some real tragedy that has happened at the city. And it's not often that we share the great news and the great stories that come out of the Long Beach Police Department and that come out of the city of Long Beach. We obviously can't say enough about the Long Beach Police Department, our chief, our deputy chief, who you're going to hear from in just a minute, but also the amazing men and women on the front lines every single day that are interacting with the community. They understand that a key part of their job is not arresting people, but they're here to help people. And I've always said, and I know that our department believes this, that we're in the business of helping people. And that's what cities do. That's what our Long Beach Police Department does, and we try to keep our communities safe. We're going to also hear today about a program that we're really excited about. We just a couple years ago launched our innovation team at the City of Long Beach through our Bloomberg partnership. And this innovation team has created a team that is addressing problems in new ways and is looking at data and innovative techniques used across the cities and really across the country on how do we change and reform government. This innovation team, our latest project is called the Long Beach Justice Lab. And you're going to hear how that project and the work through that project led to us having a really, I think, special outcome that you're going to hear about today. The city, as you probably are aware, overall, the crime rate has been decreasing in Long Beach. Last year's crime rate decreased over the year before. And in 2017, Long Beach had the lowest number of homicides in the history of the city of Long Beach that we've been recording. And so along with increasing police officers, our public safety continuum, and now our innovation team, which has launched the Long Beach Justice Lab, which you're going to hear about in just a few minutes. You're going to even hear more of these great stories that you're going to hear today. And so I want to thank, of course, Lieutenant Foster, who is also, I know very well, and is a good friend and a great cop. And to keep us going, I want to turn this over to Deputy Chief Conant right now, who's going to say some additional remarks.
Well, good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our mayor, Dr. Garcia, for joining us this morning at this event. I would also like to thank those of you who are here today covering this incredible story. We firmly believe that policing is a team effort, and as police officers in this city, we do our best work through partnerships with our community. Every day, we hope that our efforts make a positive impact on the lives of others. In Long Beach, our police officers make hundreds of thousands of contacts each year The vast majority of these contacts are positive and are the type of interactions that we want our officers to have every day. Lieutenant Foster's approach to policing is one of the many examples of great policing that our officers are involved in. His dedication, contribution to our department are exemplary. He has been a role model as an officer and has been a role model throughout his entire career. I have personally benefited from many interactions with Lieutenant Foster, and I can't say enough about how proud we are at the police department of his service. We also want to commend Tiffany for turning her life around and for the great work that she has accomplished in that effort. We are also pleased to be working so closely with the city's innovation team. This collaboration has helped our police department identify ways to improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of the services that we provide to our community. I have personally had the pleasure of working with Tracy for over 20 years on various assignments that she has had, but all of those assignments covered partnership between the police department and the city and our community. So she's been a great partner, and she continues to be one. In closing, I would again like to thank everyone for being here to help celebrate Lieutenant Foster and the services that he has provided to our community and to this department. And now I would like to invite Tracy Kalunga, the leader of our innovation team, to come up to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Mayor Garcia and Deputy Chief Conant, who is a friend and a colleague, as you can tell, for many years. In January, the city launched the Justice Lab to provide new tools for first responders to divert residents in need out of the criminal justice system and toward much-needed resources, treatment, and care. After analyzing over 100,000 offenses during a 5-year time period, the I-Team determined that 85% of repeat offenses are not serious crimes, but rather misdemeanors. The Justice Lab was based on the I-Team's people-focused and data-driven approach, which is really the core of what we do. We conducted 26 in-depth interviews with individuals who had been booked or cited 11 or more times. One of those amazing people we interviewed was Tiffany Hall, which is how we found this story. This is one of countless stories where police officers, like the lieutenant you're going to hear from in just a moment, do the right thing and treat people with dignity and respect. Through the Long Beach Justice Lab, first responders like police officers, firefighters, and our homeless outreach team now have new tools to help people break the cycle of incarceration. We're changing the trajectory of this story. My hope is that this is the first of many stories that we uncover together about how the Justice Lab in the city of Long Beach is taking new approaches towards diverting individuals from the criminal justice system. I'd like to thank you, and now I'd like to bring up a man of honor, Lieutenant Jim Foster.
Well, thank you. This is really very overwhelming. A little background on myself. Born and raised here in Long Beach, California, I am a third-generation Long Beach police officer. My grandfather joined in 1942, followed by my father in the 60s. My father had 3 sons, and all 3 of us joined this profession, and all for the best of reasons. The pride we held in what our father did carried through all parts of our lives. My father at our dinner table would tell his stories of what he did as a police officer, and his theme was very consistent. Tough on crime, but kind to people. And I remember firsthand many stories he told us over the years, which then guided me as I became a police officer here in Long Beach. I met Tiffany in some of the toughest parts of this city, areas at the time that were having problems with drugs and gangs and all the things that seem to plague big cities. But she was a unique spirit, a lot of personality, a lot of humor, not afraid to come up to you and tell it like it is. What I learned quick about Tiffany was that she had a very tough outer shell, but a very soft inner person. She was a person who had a story to tell. And the more seasoned you become as a police officer in the streets, what you find is everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has some history that's brought them to this point in their life. And whether they're directly asking for help or not, they clearly want help. I couldn't be prouder of the fact that Tiffany has pulled herself out of some very tough circumstances. It's really been the biggest joy of my professional career is from time to time having contact with people who have found their way out of horrible circumstances and into life's success, things that a lot of us just take for granted for people who have a much rougher life story. So with that, all I can say is I'm very proud to be here to represent my department. I am a very small person in a big story here. The other 800 cops that are out there every day doing exactly what I do, I wish they could all be here. We all have those stories of success that we'd love to share with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant. At this time, we are going to bring out Tiffany Hall so she can come out and see the lieutenant, and they haven't seen each other in quite a few years. So we'll bring her out, and then she'll speak afterwards.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Hall, and I'm a resident here in Long Beach, and I'm here because I want to thank Lieutenant Foster for his respect and his compassion and the empathy that he showed to me and anyone he came in contact with. He has this compassion that's deep down inside of him that he cares, and he showed that to me. And he would encourage me all the time, Tiffany, you can do better than this. Tiffany, why don't you try to go to school? Tiffany, why don't you stop? And I would listen to him, and I would pay attention to what he was saying, but the substance abuse had more power over me than what he was saying. But what he was saying was, to me, was right. So in 2009, when I got arrested the last time, I was in that cell, and I thought about everything Lieutenant Foster used to say to me, and I made a decision right then and there, and I surrendered. And when I surrendered, I didn't look back. I kept moving forward. I am a college graduate with 2 degrees. I graduate next month on the 18th with a bachelor's degree. I'm moving forward to going to the master's program to become a social worker. I became a product of my environment, drug infestation, a lot of drug use, and I became that, what I was surrounded around. But then, somewhere, somehow, Lieutenant Foster became a part of my life, and for some reason, he would always take me to jail. Always. And I will always try to talk myself up out that back seat. But it wasn't talking myself up out that back seat. Once I seen we was going over that bridge, I would let loose on Foster, and he would never get angry. He would just laugh. He would just laugh. I couldn't understand why he would laugh, but he would just laugh. And one time it was my birthday, and he came around the corner. I seen him go by the first time. See, Lieutenant Foster, he's not going to stop you as soon as he sees you. He's going to go around a corner. He's going to look at his screen. He's going to come back because he's going to be ready. It ain't nothing you're going to be able to say. And he came back, and I was standing out there, you know, and he got out the car, and he was doing his little dance, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. And he said, and tomorrow I'll be back to get you. And the next day, he was right there to get me. But one thing I want to tell you, Lieutenant Foster, is I really appreciate the encouragement that you gave me. You know, I never forgot it. You know, I couldn't understand why you kept taking me to jail, though. And I understand it now. And I obey all laws today. You can't even get me to jaywalk. Can't even get me to jaywalk. And I respect the law. You know, I respect the law today because I understand, you know. You can't keep breaking the law and doing things illegal and expect a different outcome. It doesn't work like that. You have to obey the law of the land. And I tell myself every day, don't look back behind you because there's nothing back there. You got to keep looking forward. Because if you keep looking behind you, you'll never be able to see what's in front of you. So I'm gonna continue to look forward. And hopefully I get accepted in one of these master's programs so I become a social worker. So I can help some young children like I was helped, you know, like I was encouraged, you know. I was shown compassion and empathy, and most of all, respect. He showed me respect. Although I was doing what I was doing, he showed me respect. He treated me like I was human and not like I was a nobody, you know. And I thank you for that. And I got a lot of respect for you.
I have more for you.
Thank you.
Did you want to present this too?
But most of all, I want to give this to you. And I hope that you come and be there and celebrate
Hey,
that
look
with
at
me.
I'd love to be there.
Okay.
This is an announcement for her graduation. I wouldn't miss it for the world. That's awesome, Chief. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
One more thing, just one more thing,
Yeah,
one more thing.
yeah, go, please, please.
One more thing. I be driving down the street, and I always look for a police car. And I always thought I was gonna see Lieutenant Foster. I seen him one time in 2012. It was like a minute and a half because he had to take care of his job, but he didn't recognize who I was because last time he seen me, I was Tiff Dog, you know. And so you know he didn't see me. He didn't see me then, you know. So I've been looking for you, and somebody gave me some information, and I went on the website and I found this. And this gonna sit in front of me every day on my table while I do my homework. I'll stare at this, and I remember all the nice things and all the encouragement that he said to me to get me where I'm at today. You played a big part of that.
I am very thankful for